And we're back after our summer vacation / other things happened in between for our weekly news of movies, TV shows, and all things general world happening now, I think. Because the movie news is a bit on the bare side, so we'll pad it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's hit the ground running with what have we been watching since we've been away for a little break. I'll go first because I've watched 2 movies that Bruce highly recommended. Which
Oh no!
Of watch Bullet Train, then watch Nope.
Yes.
So I watched Bullet Train first and found it absolutely amazing. Like, it's way better than the trailers made it out to be as well. Even though I'd seen about 20 minutes of it in trailers.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed the cameos. I was surprised that other people were in it more than I thought they were going to be in it. So that was all good. And then I watched Nope. And Nope was like, I was like, an hour in, I'm like, this is pretty good. I'm all in. And then about an hour and a half when the big reveal happens, I'm like, well, this is a big pile of dog shit and is the worst thing that ever happened.
The worst thing that ever happened. Right, okay.
Like, it literally is. It's almost such a good film up until this really shit reveal. And I'm not even going to say it because look, it'll blow Chris's mind. Like, it is such a good film. It's like, yep. And I was like, I get the whole Nope gags. They're all working. Wackily wobbly men. It's like everything works in this film. Up until they go, let's reveal this bad boy. I'm like,
the twist, I guess you would call it. Yeah. The kind of, you think you know where it's going to go, and just as they're about to reveal, this is where we're going. They're like, well, actually, and then it's like, oh, you're different.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it'd be right up until about an hour and a half in. I was all for it, and then that last half an hour was just, what the fuck? Every time the reveal happened, I was like, no, nope.
Nope.
And that's pretty much that's why they call it Nope, I reckon.
The bit where our main man, if else I've seen, was it OJ? Is that what we called it? It was OJ, the main guy. When he's in the barn and he's got.
I love that bit.
Yeah, Jade was full on like hiding in the cinema. It's like no, he was like no, I can't watch it. Like getting terrified.
It was all over. It was horror. It was like a bit of fun, a bit of comedy, a bit of like what the fuck. It had it all until that last half hour, and we were like, right, time for the reveal. I was like, no. Chris shut himself.
2 seconds. My Google's went off behind me. 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're right. It's another one of these films where it feels kind of like they weren't like, oh, brilliant idea. Oh, I've got ideas to do this with a film and do that. The bit with Gordy, like I've got my Gordy t-shirt on. The Gordy bit, I like how he's clearly come up with that idea, Jordan Peele, somewhere. It's like, I could put this into a film somewhere, and he's put it in, and it kind of works. But yeah, they come to the end of the film like, damn, we need to find a way out of this now. What are we going to do? And it's like the ending's a bit kind of, oh, okay, I see, yeah. But yeah, I probably agree with you for the most part, Andy. Yeah, it's good, but it's missing something, or maybe just tonally a bit weird. But and with Bullet Train that you mentioned, I did say there was about 3 seconds you would really like of it. That was one of the cameos, and that's why I was trying to encourage you to go see this film. So
as soon as Sean was saying, think about Deadpool 2, I was like, I know exactly what you mean.
I mean, there was a few other cameos in there. Like, I knew there was a voice in there, but I didn't expect the other people to turn up, and there was a couple of others. I was like, all right. And all the way through the film, I was like, I know you from something. And it was like, they look so different in other films. Like, what was it? Tangerine and Lemon or Orange or whatever.
Tangerine and Lemon.
I was like, I know you. And then it's like, oh, fucking hell, it's you. There was like loads of people like that.
Taylor Johnson's really good. He's the English guy that sounds English, not David Tyree Henry. So many names now. Everyone's got 3 names now. He doesn't sound English, but yeah, it's way better than I thought it was going to be in the end. Bullet Train, but it's a lot of fun.
Same. And on the notes of going to the cinema, Bullet Train is the last official film I've ever going to see at the cinema because I've officially killed them now. So it's time for me to rant. I finally did it. I bit the bullet. Fucked off my Cineworld card because there's fuck all coming out that I want to see. And I realised that in the last 3 months, me and Chantel had spent the equivalent of like 75 quid and seen 3 films. Yeah. So I was like, this mathematically does not add up. So I'll just go to Meerkat, I'll pay £5 a ticket, job done. And then to add woes to my thing, and it might come up in Bruce's forecast, I want to go see Clerks 3, okay? Fuck me, can I not see that film anywhere? So Cineworlds are showing it, just not any within a 25-mile radius of where I live.
Oh, really? My God.
So I have to go all the way down to fucking Basildon on Saturday to go watch this motherfucker. So Cineworld, I hope you do go bust and you fuck yourselves. So that's what I've been not watching at the cinema. And a few other TV shows.
I'll go on TV shows. If you want to go TV shows, I can take over and go TV shows.
Right, you take over TV shows to give you something. Go for it.
Because I've not seen any films. Literally, since we last recorded, I have seen 3 films, and they were, I've forgotten one of them. One of them was Spider-Man: Far From Home with Jade's family, but half an hour into that film, we found out they had not seen Endgame. So we finished watching Far From Home, and then the next night we then watched Endgame. They'd seen Infinity War, but not Endgame. So yeah, that was a good laugh. But yeah, in terms of films, nothing new at all. But TV shows.
Before you go on, one more film that I do have to recommend, other than them two, is Samaritan on Amazon. Sly Stallone's film.
It's on my plus to watch.
Way better than it should be. Like, that film should be absolutely dog shit, and it's pretty good. So if you want a non-superhero film, watch Samaritan.
Okay, there you go. Yes, for TVs, I'm up to date on everything except from the most recent House of the Dragon episode. I've watched the first episodes 1, 2, and 3, but the big shows are on at the moment. So House of the Dragon, I feel like half of House of the Dragon is really got me, and it's better than Game of Thrones, and this is really good stuff. And then where in Game of Thrones you would have other families and other interesting things happening other places, you just have more of the Targaryens not doing or saying anything really, and it's a bit tired. Some of it.
My review of House of the Dragon is more dragons, less titties is what I'm wanting from it.
I've not seen much of the latter, but there's plenty. Some of the former, but maybe I've not got to that episode yet.
No, there's too many weird shit going on now. I just want more dragons. Yeah. Right. I'm comfortable with dragons. I'm not comfortable with anything else that's happening currently.
I haven't seen the last episode, but I've heard about it.
Right. Okay. The jarring time jumps. I was warned when we were busy at the weekend there about the big time jumps, but yeah, it's kind of weird how they are just missing out. What in Game of Thrones would be a season or maybe 3 seasons worth of time they're just jumping in this show, which is quite weird. But I quite like it. Andy's favourite actor of all time, Matt Smith, is actually he's impressing me in this one. I actually quite like him as his.
I hate his face. I hate his face.
But him versus the crab feeder I liked him.
Yeah.
Minor spoiler alert for the period that he was in the show. He's not in it anymore. But yeah, I enjoyed
that. Was like some of Matt Smith's best acting in episode 3, though.
Yeah, a word.
Yeah, didn't say a word.
But yeah, that the end of that episode was, I guess, it's like a 10-minute period where he finds out it's like the help's coming and all that, and then he just goes, "I don't want help," takes the flag and all that sort of stuff. But the end of that episode was really, really good. But it's that stuff. I enjoy the stuff with him. It's less of the King's Landing stuff I'm not so interested in. But yeah, there's bits.
Well, have you guys ever watched the Netflix Disenchanted, Matt Groening?
Oh, the Futurama, but it's like medieval. Yes. Yeah, I've not seen it, but I'm aware of it.
Right, I'm a big fan of that show. The problem is it's absolutely fucking ruined House of the Dragon for me because the main woman in that looks like the main woman in House of the Dragon.
Okay.
And the whole story is pretty much exactly the same. It's bang on.
I meant to say as well, for the first episode, I completely missed that Reese Fans was in it. And I'm like, who the hell did he play? And then I was like, oh, wait, he's the one guy that isn't bleached blonde, despite the fact that's exactly what you think of when you think of Reese Fans. He's the guy with brown hair. But yeah, I'm enjoying that. She-Hulk, I'll just touch on quickly. It is absolutely not the best thing on television, She-Hulk. However, it's an easy half hour to just stick on, and it's like, it's an easy watch. As much misses as hits with it. Things that are meant to be funny are just not funny. It tries really hard at times. But every so often, it's like, yeah, that's quite amusing. That's quite entertaining. But yeah, not crucial. I feel, no spoilers, at the end of the most recent episode, i.e. the one that was just come out this week, that's them leading towards significant stuff is going to be happening. So
hopefully, because they're going to run out of episodes very soon, and that's the only reason why everybody's watching this show is to get a glimpse of them. Yeah,
exactly. I know it's basically the only Marvel thing that's happening at the moment. So yeah, keep that. But Rings of Power, I'm up to date on that. I accidentally got up to date. I just turned it on, watched all the episodes, and ran out, and then that was the last episode. So enjoying Rings of Power. However, similar to House of the Dragon, I don't care about half the people in it.
Yep,
as well.
I'm the same. I don't care about fake hobbits. Quite care about the elves, but the elves seems a bit more dickish than they were in Lord of the Rings, which is saying something.
Hard to, Elrond, it's the same guy. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, it is still the Elrond, Hugo Weaving Elrond. Yep. He's so unlikable. It's you're meant to be the same person, this kind of legendary figure, and it's just like, I just want to give your face a slap. There's just something about it.
But I'm loving the orcs. The orcs are fucking brilliant in this show. They're bang on.
the elves had been captured, who were digging the trough.
Yeah.
I liked them in the most recent batch of me watching it. Them, I enjoyed that section of it. You're right, the orcs are really good. But yeah, Rings of Power. I was explaining this to someone the other day. The Rings of Power. The problem is it's all nobody crosses over. Very few people matter to other people. Whereas the other Lord of the Rings grew out of these are the hobbits, and this is them going across the universe and meeting all these people. But this is everyone's already across the universe, and I'm assuming they're going to come together. And it's quite like when the pans to a different part of the area. I'm like, oh, I don't really care about this one. I can tune out. I will try not to spoil anything with guesses, but I'm intrigued by the Comet Man who is with the not hobbits. Whatever they are, so I have theories, but I'm not going to bother theorizing on them. But yeah, I like that aspect. But yeah, I'm not interested in it. And that's really I don't think I've missed any of the big stuff. I'll get onto new stuff that's coming out later on.
It's amazing. We've done the summer break and there's been fuck all. So Chris, hopefully you've watched something amazing that's just blown our minds.
Okay, maybe come back to me later. I'm up to Ant-Man in my Marvel movie rewatch.
Okay.
I can't remember what films I'd told you about beforehand, but I'm going to say it again. The Hulk from The Incredible Hulk is the best version of the Hulk.
Okay.
Like, They need to bring back Edward Norton. The other guy is just a joke now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Ruffalo now. He is shitting all that. I liked him to start off with. He's a good Bruce Banner, but a shit Hulk.
I don't like Smart Hulk. I liked him as Hulk in Ragnarok. I like that one. Whereas you get a bit more of the Hulk character and then a bit more of the Bruce Banner character. But now that he's both, I'm like, I'm not as interested.
Maybe controversial, but I think Iron Man 3 is quite possibly the worst Marvel film.
I'm with you.
It's up there.
Far too much praise.
Yeah.
And Iron Man 2 gets unfairly hated. Iron Man 2 is so much better than Iron Man 3 is, and people are always like, oh, they're much the same. It's like, no, definitely.
Yeah. And going by what I've just watched, Age of Ultron, Wanda forgets about her brother a lot quicker than she forgets about her dead kid.
And her
not real kids.
Never alive husband, yeah.
Yep. So that's my input in the Marvel thing.
The quickest thing that Wanda forgets about though is her accent. That's the quickest thing. Just overnight to America.
I also watched Pinocchio.
All right.
Give us the hot take.
I wasn't paying much attention to it, so I might have to give it another one. But I think the Italian one's better.
Right. Okay.
This one is basically just they've remade the cartoon. They've got the exact same Pinocchio. The weird whale, shark, octopus thing, it was just a fucking whale. I'm sure it was just like Moby Dick that attacked like a giant whale that attacked him. This one looks like a shark.
So yeah, to me it was like a whale, yeah. So they made it different.
Whale, yeah.
It's like it's got tentacles. It doesn't make no sense. And they've got like people, and then they've got hybrid cats that are walking like on their leg, and foxes are walking on 2 feet. It just makes no sense.
So quickly.
But then there's Jiminy Cricket, of course, walked on 2 legs and wore a hat and a coat and all that sort of stuff. And he was in Pinocchio.
He was his conscience, but yeah, I'd definitely go watch the Italian one.
Right, there you go.
Italian Pinocchio. So that's pretty much summer break. Is the reason why we took a break because there was fuck all out. So what do we have to look forward to? So movie news wise, I've pretty much got jack shit because when I was having a look, it's pretty much reboots, remakes, gossip, and nothing coming out very much soon. So out of that kind of big news is biggest film coming out anytime soon is pretty much Halloween Ends, which a lot of people are talking about. However, it's off to a bad start when the director basically goes, there's a 4-year time jump. We're not explaining what happens in between. It's like, all right, okay. That's always a bad sign in a film, I reckon.
I can't even remember where old Michael Myers was left off in the last one.
He was burning alive in a house, wasn't he?
Was that the end of the last one, was it? Because I thought he got out of that. Yeah, he got out of that. Unless that's the trailer for this one.
No, he definitely no. He was locked in and it was all the fire, and then he just kind of escaped as a fireman.
Yeah, so that was the start of the Halloween kill.
They're all the same.
Then, because we had Evil Dies Tonight out in the street where like 1,000 people had the chance to kill Michael Myers and decided not to, despite the fact that they were chanting. And they let him get away. But then I can't remember what happened after. I think I was just so kind of fed up at that point because it wasn't good, the last one. But yeah, I think the Fiery House was the beginning of the most recent one, I think. But anyway, carry on.
Whatever. The people can tell us if we're wrong. Either way, it's going to be shit.
It's probably bad, yeah.
And then other news, they've got a Blade Runner TV series coming out. So we've got that to look forward to, which pretty much is all my news. I can literally name a film, and I reckon they're making a TV series about it at the moment. That's pretty much been the big summer news.
I thought it was Blade Runner 2099, and I thought it was a sequel to the movie, not movies. So it's not a sequel to the Ryan Gosling. It's to the first one,
not.
Or it's both, or do we just not know until they actually do it?
I think it's in between, but I'm not 100% sure. So
what's the year for Ryan Gosling? I thought it was 2049.
That was that'd be 50 years before this show, I think. So
aye.
But we don't know.
It's so fucking confusing.
I know.
And then you've got obviously Scream, which is another thing which nobody gives a shit about.
I enjoyed the new Scream, so I'm looking forward to another new Scream. So yeah, I'm just going to say I am looking forward to another Scream movie because the last one was good.
Pretty much where I'm getting is nostalgia's dead. We need new shit because we've got Scream coming out. We've got another Saw movie coming next year. It's like, just give me something new. For the love of God, Hollywood, give me something new. So, Chris, give me some news. Have we got anything new coming out?
It's not new. It's Gran Turismo.
I'm
really pleased because it's slowly moving forward. David Harbour's on board to star, as apparently it's going to be it's going to focus on like a based on truth ultimate wish fulfillment tale of a teenage kid who used to play Gran Turismo who skills were so good that he won like a bunch of competitions and became an actual professional racing car driver.
So the way you've described this to me, I would say the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s sounds a lot better and more exciting than this.
So I guess the first half hour of this film was just the kids playing Gran Turismo.
But Harbour's playing like the retired driver.
Like, why did you pick on David Harbour's best pinnacle movie coming out this Christmas? It could rival one of our best movies ever.
It looks good.
Where David Harbour just plays an evil Santa Claus.
That's the one, yeah.
It does seem to do one every year now, doesn't it? There's always that one film every Christmas. It's like, it's Santa Claus, but he's evil.
I know. So yeah, up there with Bill Goldberg, which is still one of the best actor awards for playing Santa.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to beat. So yeah, David Harbour's going to be in the running for this year. So we'll see what happens with that. But the man's back, it seems.
Yeah. What else did I see? Inside Out 2 is confirmed, and Amy Poehler's going to be returning as Joy. So,
well, touching on that, since Chris has mentioned some news from it, I guess D23 happened since we're away, which is Disney's big announcement-filled thing.
Which the best thing that come out of that was the Mando trailer.
I'm going to say Mandalorian trailer. Chris has mentioned Inside Out, and I'm trying to think. I'm sure Marvel announced something, and I was like, no, I don't think they did.
No, they did. They announced like Quakes in it, like from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's the Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, yeah.
So yeah, Quake's back, and they're getting like Armie Hammer back and stuff.
I didn't see her.
She's in the little middle one. She's back.
That's Yelena. That was what's it called? That's Black Widow's sister. There was when I saw it anyway. I thought it was her.
Maybe I've seen a fan one, but maybe it should have been Quake then.
Anyway, but the major headline with that was that apparently Zemo is the main guy whoever is involved with the Thunderbolts, and he's not been announced as being in it. So either it's going to somehow be a twist that he's involved, or he's not actually involved. Either way, it's going to be annoy everybody. But yeah, Marvel's big announcement thing of the year, basically, they barely announced anything, which is
one I'm happy with is Tim Blake Nelson from Oh Brother Bear Thou. He's coming back in Captain America, New World Order, who plays the leader, who was last seen all the way back in Hulk.
And Chris's Hulk
never been mentioned since.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming back from it. He's going to love it.
Was he like Mr. Blue or something like he was, wasn't he? Because Hulk was Mr. Green, he was Mr. Blue.
Tiny little bit of blood landed his head. His head's kind of blue.
Yeah.
But who I want to come back is Betty. How Bruce Banner for like Mark Ruffalo's one completely forgets she's existed.
Yeah.
And starts banging Natasha Romanoff.
And then they forget about that as well, and they don't really. Yeah, that gets dropped. So,
I want her to come back and just slap the shit out of him.
I'll tell you what, I was doing some She-Hulk research. She bangs pretty much every Marvel character in the comic books. Like, she bangs Deadpool, she bangs Hawkeye, she bangs.
That's a Ricky Martin song, isn't it?
The Thing. Like, she literally goes through everybody. She bangs everybody.
Yeah.
So,
does she go for a little bit of
season 2 could
Game
be a
of
lot.
Thrones action with the Hulk?
No. That'd be wrong, Chris.
The 60s and 70s were a wild time in comic books. Like,
I know. It was pretty much, we have a female superhero. She can have sex with all the other male superheroes. That's what we shall do.
And it's all comics canon, and the fans will demand it forevermore.
Yeah.
So that's my guff.
Right. Okay. So, what do we have to look forward to, Bruce? What is the forecast?
Well,
should I get a cinema card back or?
No, I shouldn't. So we've not. normally I do this is what happened last week to prove how right I was. So we've been off for, I think for 3 episodes. Said we're going to be off for 2 weeks. Actually turned out we're off for 3 weeks. So that was completely bad counting on my part. So last week, which we didn't preview, this was the top 5 films in the UK last week. Okay, 5 Minions: Rise of Gru, which was a mainstay. Right, 4. Bear with me in this one. 4. Brahmpatra Part 1 Shiva. That was the 4th biggest movie in the UK this week. Number 3 in the UK box office, the week of September 10th, 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th weekend, Jaws was number 3. Yes, that Jaws. Number 2, the longest title of the week, Tad, The Lost Explorer and The Curse of the Mummy. Now, I thought that was 2 films, so I had to do a bit of investigating. Nope, it's called Tad.
Yeah,
The Lost Explorer,
looks awful.
And then The Curse of the... So he's Tad, The Lost Explorer, and then this is And The Curse of the Mummy.
And it looks absolutely guff. I've seen so many trailers of that film.
That was the number 2 movie. And the number 1, See How They Run, which is kind of looks a bit like it's built on Knives Out, like the kind of murder mystery sort of thing. Looks like it could be actually okay.
That's got like a proper decent cast in it, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think Saoirse Ronan and somebody else are the main 2. Sam Rockwell, there you go. They're the main 2. I think they're the 2 police trying to work out, which looks good-ish. But I'm not going to rush out with my Cineworld card to go and see it at the cinema.
This is the thing. Cineworld have got like Jaws playing. They've got James and the Giant fucking Peach playing, but they don't have Clerks 3 playing, a brand new fucking movie that people would go and see. What the fuck?
I was on the app earlier on doing my research for this to find that the films that are now playing at Cineworld is the ones I've mentioned, and then it just all of a sudden turns into like Jaws, Spider-Man: No Way Home. And then you have Fast and Furious, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Interstellar. It's like, why is it all these old films? It's because they're trying to sell 4DX tickets, so they're just showing old films in the 4DX thing. So yes, there's no new films; they're just showing old ones, Which reminds me, which is the most hilarious movie news of the week: View Cinemas are showing The Queen's Funeral. I've
heard that.
Oh yeah,
free.
Yeah, they're opening all of them, but you're not allowed to buy popcorn. You get a free bottle of water, but no popcorn.
So you can go watch it with the crowd. Like, I thought, like, as they were like, woo! Like when Captain America picks up the hammer, it's like, yeah, King Charles, woo!
Just doing 4DX as the coffin's getting lowered down. You just
yeah.
4DX with the squirting in the eyes. If you're not crying, fucking cry, you bastard.
Yeah, but I can't imagine why, because it's absolutely going to be shown on terrestrial television. Like, there's no way they're getting around it. So I don't know why you would have to go to a cinema to watch it. I have no idea. But anyway,
so you've got that moment. Where were you? I was in the cinema watching the
cinema. I was in the VIP. It cost me £2 extra.
The last thing I ever watched before the cinema shut down.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the chart for last. We're coming at this week outside of The Queen's Funeral, which I think is actually next week, technically. Clerks 3 came out of nowhere.
Did it?
Andy was threatening that it was coming, and I saw absolutely you advertised this film to me, Andy. I have seen nothing advertising Clerks 3 actually coming out, and as of recording, it is out now. And yeah, you can go see it. I think it must
if you're close enough to a Cineworld that can give a shit.
Exactly. So we know what Clerks 3 is. We've done Clerks 1 and 2 on the podcast, so Clerks 3. I don't think anyone's, unless it's Andy's next pick, because he did throw Prey at us. I need to make a way.
I don't think it's on a streaming service. That's why I physically have to go to a cinema and watch this bad boy. I can't get it online.
Not yet, anyway. But normally I do what's coming out in cinemas on Friday, but actually on Tuesday is the next biggest release, which is Ticket to Paradise, a film I have seen advertised. And the advertising tells me it's got George Clooney and Julia Roberts in it, and that's all the adverts tell me. But apparently they play a divorced couple trying to stop their daughter getting married and making the same mistake that they did in getting married.
Lovely parents they are.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's a rom-com. And it also made me think they are a couple in the Ocean's films, aren't they? Julia Roberts and George Clooney.
Yeah.
I thought so. So I thought it was her and Brad Pitt, but more thought about it. Yeah, so they're reunited on screen if that's it. But literally that's it. That is the film coming out this week. No wonder they're all shutting down. But streaming this week, I couldn't find any big time films necessarily I want to brag about. There's probably some advertised everywhere. There's always films coming out. But Andor, the Star Wars series, starts, and I'm actually looking forward to this one. This one looks like it could be good.
Yeah.
I do like my Rogue One, and it's a Rogue One prequel, so therefore comes after.
We know what happens, and they all die.
Yes, exactly. Everyone who you see will probably end up dead. Comes after where Obi-Wan was, but before where Star Wars actually starts, way back in the 70s, in that sort of time. But it looks like it could be quite good. I'm quite interested in it. And that's it. That's really what you're looking for this week. in the not too distant future, don't worry, darling. I am now more excited about this film than ever before. Anytime a new bit of news comes out about Don't Worry, Darling, Florence Pugh hates this person, Chris Pine got spat on by Harry Styles, all this sort of stuff. I wanted to see this film, and now more and more I'm like, I need to see this film. It's going to be happening. It's going to be bad, but at least there's some excitement about it. Adding to October, Andy's mentioned Halloween Ends. That's when Black Adam comes out, a proper actual movie to go and see in the movie theaters. A film called Amsterdam. It's got quite a good cast. That comes out that month as well. I'll talk about that. And then November, when the cinemas are meant to actually be getting busy again, Black Panther is going to be the big one of the Christmas season, I think. And a film called The Menu with Ralph Fiennes in it, where it looks like he's a kind of a sort of thriller where he's a chef. Looks like quite good. But that's me.
That's not as good as Chef.
Probably not as good as Chef. Definitely not as good as Chef. A throwback to season 1 of the podcast. And that's me. I've no more to add on the news this week, Andy.
Oh, there we go. That's pretty much... You've got the Queen's Funeral to watch. That's what we recommend. Go to the cinema. Go to the View Cinema, because even Cineworld can't be our showing that shit.
They're shut.
So yeah, go to View Cinema, get a free bottle of water, pay your respects to the Queen. That's pretty much our recommendation. So, but if you don't want to do that, which you should go and do, because, respect the Queen and all, you could go watch our next film that we have on our main podcast, which is Being John Malkovich, picked way back in the day by Bruce, which we're going to review, and we'll see if we like it, and you watch it and see if you agree with us, because I know our number one fan's going to have some hot takes on this bad boy. So drop us a message, let us know what you think, and we shall see you next time on the 10 Point Podcast.